What if I told you that most people don't realize they're in the friend zone until it's already too late? They think they're doing everything right. They're kind, supportive, always available, and always there when the other person needs them. And yet, nothing happens. Weeks go by, months go by, sometimes even years. Meanwhile, someone else comes along and gets the relationship they secretly wanted. So, what happened? Why do some people end up stuck as just a friend, while others seem to effortlessly become something more? Today, we're going to talk about what the friend zone really is, why people get trapped in it, and most importantly, how to avoid wasting months or even years waiting for someone who may never see you the same way. Let's start with the biggest myth. Most people believe they're in the friend zone because they're too nice. You've probably heard this before. Nice guys finish last. She only likes bad boys. He only wants toxic relationships. But that's usually not the real problem. Being kind is not what puts people in the friend zone. The real problem is pretending to be a friend while secretly hoping for something more. Think about it. Imagine someone likes you, but instead of showing romantic interest, they hide it. They talk to you like a friend, act like a friend, spend time with you like a friend, and they do this for months. Eventually, your brain creates a category, and that category is simply friend. Once someone is placed into that category, your mind starts viewing them through that lens. You stop looking for romantic signals, you stop imagining romantic possibilities. You stop asking yourself whether there could be something more, not because they're unattractive, not because they're not a good person, but because your brain has already decided who they are. This is one of the biggest reasons people get stuck. They spend so much time hiding their true intentions that they accidentally teach the other person to see them only as a friend. And the longer this goes on, the harder it becomes to change. Now, here's something most people don't want to hear. A lot of people don't get friend-zoned by someone else. They friend-zone themselves. Let's talk about how that happens. The first mistake is becoming available all the time. Every text gets an instant reply. Every problem becomes your problem. Every moment of loneliness gets your attention. At first, this feels like you're being supportive, but over time, something strange happens. You become predictable. And while predictability can create comfort, it rarely creates attraction. Attraction grows when someone sees value, when they feel curiosity, when they wonder about you, when they feel like they might lose access to your attention. If you're always available, there's no mystery, no uncertainty, and no challenge. You slowly become part of the background, not because you're doing something wrong, but because people naturally adapt to whatever is always there. The second mistake is never creating romantic tension. You talk, laugh, listen, and support them, but you never flirt. You never take a risk. You never create a moment where the other person pauses and thinks, wait a second, is there something more going on here? Without romantic tension, friendship becomes the default. Most people don't suddenly wake up one day and develop romantic feelings out of nowhere. There usually needs to be some kind of signal, some indication that this relationship is different from every other friendship in their life. If that signal never appears, friendship is usually where things stay. The third mistake is waiting for the perfect moment. This one traps people for years. They tell themselves they'll speak up when the timing is better, when the other person is less stressed, when life settles down, or when the moment finally feels right. But the perfect moment rarely arrives. And while you're waiting, life keeps moving. People meet other people, relationships begin, opportunities disappear. The truth is that many people spend more time preparing to act than actually acting. And eventually, the window closes. Now let's talk about the hardest truth in this entire video. Sometimes the friend zone has nothing to do with what you did. Sometimes the other person simply isn't attracted to you. And that's okay. Not everyone is supposed to be attracted to us. Not everyone is supposed to become our partner. The mistake many people make is believing attraction can be earned. They think that if they're loyal enough, helpful enough, patient enough, eventually the other person will realize they're perfect. But attraction isn't a reward for good behavior. You can't negotiate it. You can't logically explain someone into feeling chemistry. You can't collect enough points and redeem them for love. Yet people try all the time. They become the emotional support system, the therapist, the problem solver, and the backup plan, hoping that one day all their effort will finally pay off. Sometimes it does, but most of the time it doesn't, because attraction and appreciation are not the same thing. Someone can appreciate you deeply, trust you completely, care about you genuinely, and still not feel romantic attraction. That's a painful truth, but accepting it can save you years of frustration. The sooner you understand this, the sooner you stop chasing situations that are unlikely to change. Instead of asking, how do I make them like me? Start asking, do I actually want to spend my life trying to convince someone to choose me? Because those are very different questions, and one of them leads to a much healthier future. So, how do you escape the friend zone? First, be honest with yourself. Do you genuinely want friendship, or are you staying because you're secretly hoping for a relationship? A lot of people tell themselves they're okay being friends, but deep down, they're waiting for a breakup, waiting for a sign, waiting for the other person to suddenly change their mind. And while they're waiting, they stop moving forward with their own lives. If you want more than friendship, admit it to yourself. Honesty is always the first step. Second, express your intentions earlier. Not in a dramatic way, not with a huge emotional confession, not with a speech you've been rehearsing for 6 months. Just be honest, show interest, flirt a little. Make your intentions clear enough that the other person understands there might be something more. The longer you hide your interest, the harder it becomes to change how you're perceived. Third, build a life outside of that one person. This is one of the most important lessons people learn too late. When your happiness depends on one person's attention, every interaction feels enormous. Every text matters too much. Every delay feels personal. Every mixed signal becomes a source of anxiety. But when you have goals, hobbies, friendships, experiences, and a life that excites you, something changes. You stop obsessing. You stop chasing. You stop needing one specific outcome. Ironically, that's often when people become more attractive, because confidence grows when your entire identity isn't attached to one person's opinion. And finally, be willing to walk away. Not to manipulate them, not to make them jealous, not to play games. Walk away because your time has value, your attention has value, and your emotional energy has value. If someone doesn't see you the way you see them, that's not necessarily anyone's fault. But it doesn't mean you should stay stuck forever. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is accept reality and move forward. Here's the irony. Many people spend years trying to convince one person to choose them while completely overlooking people who would happily choose them without hesitation. The friend zone is not proof that you're unattractive. It's not proof that you're not good enough. Most of the time, it's simply a mismatch. One person sees friendship, the other sees romance, and neither person is wrong. The real danger isn't being friend-zoned. The real danger is staying there for years while hoping reality will change. Because life is too short to spend it waiting for someone who doesn't see what you're offering. The fastest way out of the friend zone isn't convincing someone to love you. It's realizing you deserve someone who doesn't need convincing in the first place. And once you truly understand that, everything starts to change.